The Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-21, a fighter jet synonymous with the Indian Air Force for over 6 decades, is finally flying into the sunset. Its distinctive silhouette, a delta wing with a pencil-thin fuselage, has been a constant presence in the skies above the subcontinent since the 1960s. For generations of Indians, the thunderous roar of its Tumansky R-25 afterburning turbojet engine was the very sound of national air defense. This aircraft was not merely a piece of military hardware, it was a symbol of an era, representing India's strategic autonomy during the Cold War. The MiG-21, known affectionately by pilots as the Bison in its latest upgraded form, has served as the workhorse of the IAF. Its retirement marks a profound and necessary transition for the IAF. The decision to phase out this legendary aircraft represents a significant turning point in India's military history. The primary driver behind the MiG-21's retirement is its concerning safety record, which has earned it unfortunate and tragic nicknames like the Flying Coffin and Widowmaker. Over the decades, hundreds of these aircraft have been lost in accidents, claiming the lives of many skilled pilots. These incidents represent a significant loss of precious human capital. The aircraft's design, dating back to the late 1950s, has inherent limitations. Its high landing speed of over 340 kilometers per hour, combined with a single-engine configuration, leaves very little margin for error. Beyond the safety issues, the operational obsolescence of the MiG-21 airframe is undeniable in the context of modern air warfare. The fundamental platform remains a product of 1950s technology. Furthermore, its radar cross-section is massive by modern standards, making it easily detectable by enemy air defense systems and advanced aircraft. The maintenance and logistics of keeping an aging fleet airborne have also become an economic and logistical nightmare. Sourcing spare parts for an aircraft that has been out of production for decades is increasingly difficult and expensive. The MiG-21's legacy within the Indian Air Force was forged in the crucible of war. Its combat debut came during the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War, a conflict that firmly established its reputation. Piloting the then-new MiG-21FL, Indian pilots engaged Pakistani F-104 starfighters and F-6s, demonstrating superior maneuverability and combat effectiveness. One of the most iconic moments was the bombing of the governor's house in Dhaka by MiG-21’s, a decisive action that hastened the surrender of Pakistani forces in East Pakistan. Throughout the Cold War and beyond, the MiG-21 remained the backbone of India's air defense network. It was the primary tool for intercepting aerial intrusions along India's vast and often tense borders. The aircraft also played a pivotal role in the Kargil War of 1999. Operating in the treacherous high-altitude environment of the Himalayas, MiG-21's were tasked with reconnaissance and ground attack missions. Perhaps the most recent and telling chapter was the 2019 airstrike and subsequent aerial engagement over Kashmir. An upgraded MiG-21 Bison, piloted by Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman, successfully shot down a Pakistani F-16. The retirement of the MiG-21 is a critical catalyst for the Indian Air Force's overarching modernization strategy. The centerpiece of this plan is the indigenous HAL Tejas light combat aircraft, or LCA. The Tejas, especially in its improved Mark 1A and the upcoming Mark 2 variants, is the designated successor to the MiG-21. This homegrown fighter represents a significant leap in India's aerospace capabilities. Featuring a modern glass cockpit, advanced avionics, an AESA radar, and a suite of sophisticated Indian-made weapons. Alongside the indigenous Tejas, the IAF is also bolstering its capabilities at the heavier end of the spectrum. The fleet of 36 Dassault Rafale fighters provides India with a strategic edge. The Rafales operate in tandem with the IAF's formidable fleet of around 272 Sukhoi Su-30 MKI fighters, which remain the mainstay of India's air power. The IAF's modernization plan is structured around a carefully balanced mix of aircraft types to cover the full spectrum of air operations: heavy air superiority fighters, medium-weight multi-role jets, and light multi-role fighters. The retirement of the MiG-21 fleet inevitably creates a temporary but significant shift in the air power dynamics of South Asia. For decades, the sheer number of MiG-21s contributed to a quantitative advantage over regional rivals. Their phasing out leads to a numerical reduction in the IAF's combat squadrons, bringing its effective strength closer to that of the Pakistan Air Force. This perceived parity could be interpreted as a window of opportunity, potentially leading to increased assertiveness or miscalculation along the line of control and the international border. China's People's Liberation Army Air Force represents a far more formidable challenge. The PLADAF has been undergoing a massive modernization drive, inducting large numbers of 4th and 5th generation fighters. The technological gap between the aging MiG-21 and these modern Chinese aircraft was already vast and untenable. By retiring the MiGs and focusing resources on platforms like the Rafale and developing the AMCA, India is taking crucial steps to counter this growing threat. The retirement of the MiG-21 is not just an internal matter for the IAF. It recalibrates the strategic equilibrium in the skies of South Asia, ushering in an era defined by advanced technology and network-centric warfare. The foremost challenge for the Indian Air Force during this transition is the risk of a dip in its combat squadron strength. The IAF has a sanctioned strength of 42 squadrons, but with phased retirements, numbers are set to fall well below this level. A significant hurdle lies in the training and reskilling of personnel. Pilots accustomed to the analog cockpit of the MiG-21 must adapt to glass cockpits, fly-by-wire systems, and the data-centric environment of modern fighters. Similarly, maintenance technicians need to acquire new skills to service sophisticated systems, a process that is both time-consuming and resource-intensive. To mitigate these challenges, the IAF is implementing a multi-pronged strategy. Firstly, it is maximizing the operational availability of its existing core fleets, particularly the Su-30 MKI and the upgraded Mirage 2000. Secondly, the IAF is expediting the procurement process. The orders for 83 Tejas Mark 1A are being fast-tracked, with a concerted push to accelerate production rates. Furthermore, the IAF is leveraging its newly inducted platforms as force multipliers. A single Rafale squadron can exert influence over a much larger area than several MiG-21 squadrons combined, through network-centric operations. The retirement of the last MiG-21 squadron is more than the end of a chapter. It's the beginning of a new book for the Indian Air Force. The future will be defined not by numbers, but by technological superiority and strategic reach. The IAF of tomorrow will be built around highly capable aircraft operating in a data-rich environment. This involves stealth fighters, unmanned combat vehicles, and advanced missile systems. A cornerstone of this vision is Atmanirbharta, self-reliance in defense manufacturing. The future lies in indigenous platforms like the Tejas LCA and the ambitious AMCA program. The human element will remain central to the IAF's future. The focus will be on producing thinking warriors who can exploit the full potential of their advanced machines in high-pressure, information-saturated battle spaces. By embracing indigenous production, investing in next-generation technologies, and evolving operational doctrine, the IAF is positioning itself to dominate the aerospace domain in the wider Indian Ocean region. The legacy of the venerable MiG-21 will be honored by the rise of a new generation of Indian air power that is more lethal, resilient, and technologically advanced than ever before, ensuring that the South Asian skies remain firmly under its watch.